Great. So now let's go ahead and start doing the things we wanted to do here. First, we want to get the order details table. So let's go to models, order details, drop it here using the shift key. So we get it defined like this. We don't need it to be public. By the way, we don't even need the onload because I don't think we want to do anything in it, so we'll remove it. And we'll say over here, from equals order details. Great. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to filter this controller according to the order ID of the parent controller. So to do that, I'm going to say where add order details dot order ID is equal to parent dot orders dot order ID. Because I have the parent defined over here, I can use it and access any variable that is defined in my parent controller. And that's the fun of an inner class. An inner class can see all the members of its containing class, and that's what makes it a very good equivalent to subtasks in Magic that can see all the virtual of its parent task, or the IOs, or the forms, or whatever. So the same concept applies over here. An inner class can see all the members of its outer class. Let's see what we've done here. Great, so we've set the table, we set it as the from of this controller, and we filtered it according to the order ID in the parent controller. Added the table to the controller and filtered based on the parent. Great. Yes, we'll save the changes. Great. Now let's go ahead and conclude this implementation by accumulating the values. So first, we'll add an onLive row. And again, we're going to use the parent here. We're going to say parent dot items dot value plus plus, and parent dot quantity, total quantity dot value plus equals order details dot quantity, and parent dot total amount plus equals order details dot quantity times order details dot price. Notice that we have to say dot value, otherwise it will not build. And over here I wanted to say price and not primary columns. Perfect. So you can see here that with an inner class I don't need to send that many parameters back and forth, and I can simply update the variables of my parent controller. And what we also need to be aware of is updating these values with 0 when we're starting our controller. So I'm just going to copy this to the run before the execute and update it all to 0. Great. Let's run this. And we can see that it works perfectly, updating everything just as we wanted it. So let's review the changes that we've done now. So to accumulate the values, I created an onLive row and updated the values in it. Notice that I have access to the parent, so I can update any variable in my parent controller. And before we run it, we set their values with 0. Now, on a personal note, inner tasks or inner classes are great and easily used, but use them a lot less in .NET than you do in Magic. In Magic, you create a subtask for pretty much anything. In .NET, I'm a bigger fan of separating things into separate autonomous controllers that are easier to reuse. The benefit of being able to access your parent members is nice, but sometimes overused. But I leave the judgment to you. So, to summarize this topic, inner classes are just like subtasks in Magic. You have an inner class that's defined within the scope of the outer class. You can see in the class outline the parent-child relationship, and of course you can navigate through it. And they're just cool. Welcome to use them.